Now we are going to continue on with the top portion of my oiling can, the spout. This is a semi, I'd say, kind of reflective, but it is definitely a metallic object. It's got like a gold, copper kind of tint to it. So what I want to accomplish with that is that idea. So what I'm going to do is focus on mixing my yellow and brown together with touches of black, but we want to keep the integrity of the highlighted sources as well. So I really need to pay attention to what's going on, really focus on using a smaller brush, not only for the small details, but understanding that I need to just use a smaller brush in general because it is a smaller portion of the object versus the larger portion or even the background. Okay, so I've got some yellow brown on my brush now that I kind of previously mixed, and I'm going to come in and just start to develop those areas. Do not lose the integrity of the white of the paper or the transparent idea. One method I like to do with smaller kind of details like this is a dry brush technique where I'm just pulling the paint that's already on the paper and blending it out so I don't overdo it with my color. Okay, now I'm going to come in and start to really intensify and develop the areas where there's a darker value, paying attention to where my lighter values are and not losing the highlighted source. Okay, I'm going to come in and mix it with a little bit of this brownish black over here. Create a nice point. Notice how nicely pointed that is on the brush. And come in with that darker value and place that exactly where it belongs. And it's kind of hard for you guys to understand exactly what I see because you aren't able to see it. And if I were to move this oiling can and put it in a position that you can see it, it's not going to have the same reflected light sources as it will if you were to see it when I move it. So I want you guys to photograph your painting to showcase what the original looks like, and from there I'll be able to see exactly the highlighted sources that you have, especially if it's a metallic or glass object. Okay, picking and choosing where my darker values go, taking it nice and slow. This is not a race. You can definitely take your time on this. With reflective metallic objects, you kind of really do want to create a harsh edge. Not everything is going to be blended together. So that's something you're going to have to understand. Now there is a lot of blending here from left to right because it is a cylinder. Okay, cylinder is the circular kind of item here, like a circular rectangle, if you will. So things are blended kind of for the most part from left to right, but there are also these kind of like harsher values there. I can go ahead and zoom in for you so you can maybe get a little better understanding and see exactly what I'm working with. Okay, there's a separation right here. It looks like it's choppy, but that's kind of what it looks like in real life, so I don't want to lose the integrity or idea of the realism of it. But that is how kind of reflected objects go and metallic objects go when they create this sort of breakage point. So right here, there is this like kind of breakage point. You can kind of see it right there. It's dark, and then all of a sudden it turns to light. Now it looks different from this perspective because I'm looking at it from this perspective. So what I'm seeing is a little different than what you saw. Okay, now I'm going to come in and continue to develop my darks. Get a little bit more of that brownish black, mix it with some of this yellow brown. Staying true to the colors I see. Super dark around that ridge right there. Come in and develop this darkness. Comes down, curls in. Okay, be nice and methodical with it. Once again, there's no need to rush. Paying attention to exactly what you see, not losing those light sources. Starting with a transparent layer, semi-transparent layer, I'd say. because if I go in too opaque, too quick, and too dark, then I might lose that idea. Now there, I just added a little bit of water to my brush. I didn't dunk it in, I just kind of looked to see where the tip was. I understanding the material better now. We already did color theory, we did color sphere. Now I'm understanding how much water I need on my brush, how much paint I need on my brush, and how those can come together and develop what I'm trying to accomplish. So being very precise. I think this brush is getting a little bit too big now, so I'm going to come in with my smaller brush, get a touch of water just to get that paint flowing, and adding my smaller little details. Need to add a little bit of dark value over here. And you're going to come in with some more brownish yellows for the highlighted areas. Continue to develop that. Beauty of watercolors, that you can like layer these colors and values on top of one another, and then they'll create this nice layering situation where you can still see the integrity of the other color showing through, but you're getting that other color to come through as well. Grab some more of this darker color, press that right up to the edge. So once again, I know all your objects don't look exactly like mine, which if it did, then it'd kind of be boring because we'd all be doing the exact same thing. I really want to see different objects showcased and things like that. So you just need to really understand what I'm doing and how to incorporate the understanding of what I'm doing into your specific painting. Got a super dark value going on here, making sure I'm being very careful and cautious with this dark and picking and choosing exactly where it belongs. Okay, starting to build up the opacity. My transparent layer, I believe, is done. Now we are focusing on smaller details, building up that color and opacity, and going from there. Since I've layered my transparent layer down, I already know where my darkest darks are going to be located and feel comfortable going right into that. So I'm going to come in and develop some colors even further. So I'm going to spend some time on this. Hopefully you guys all gained an understanding of kind of how metallic objects work, if you have them. If you don't have metallic objects, it's just something nice to keep in the back of your mind throughout the entire school year if you ever encounter that idea of metallic or glass or reflective objects. So I'm going to continue to develop this, but you're starting to get the gist. I'll kind of eliminate those outlines with pushing the value up against it. I'll start to develop even more detail kind of on the ridges. You can see kind of like those X shapes on that middle part right there. I'll continue to develop those ideas in my next video, as well as finish up this guy and work on the ground some more. And then my painting will be done and we'll be ready for the next one. All right, happy painting.